Hello there, this is Cookies. I have turn 53 of EA Abysia. And, sorry, I've just been doing a lot of EA Abysia recordings. And it's turn 53, yeah. And it's been a couple of weeks since I've done some recordings, but I'm going to try and knock out a whole set of these. So we'll see how it goes. So, trying to get reacquainted with all of this. We've got two Infernal Disease casters, and they're trying to go ham on Helheim at the moment, which is a bad target because their bless makes it very hard to assassinate them. So, should be able to see it here. So between the Twist Fate and the high defense, and the pretty high MR, just makes him a bad target for disease demons. Now the Herdman doesn't quite have the same level of MR, so he is diseased. But he also has a lot of defense too. Alright, so he survives that. We cast the Solar Ram. 2 dire portents go up. We'll check that out in just a second. And we have another disease demon come out and try to kill this very well kitted out white mage. So with the quickness boots, it swings its race sword twice per round at 20 to attack for 37 damage. And it's overall got pretty good stats, even 16 defense is pretty good. So this guy's already hurt by Nature's Scourge. Or no. Here we go. Nature's Scourge, 12 damage. Then whacks him with the race sword. Alright. And has disease on him, but undead don't care about disease. Let's see, some more remote site searching. Doesn't really do anything. And then we have a final magic phase, where we get a Float Cat Horror going up against 1 PD. Its biggest asset is its Fear Aura and the damage reversal. And it's got okay attacks. It's got like a life drain in this distorted armor negating claw. But, I mean, generally 1 Float Cat is not very scary. But eventually he does wander up and scare away the 1 PD. And then Alkera goes ahead and wanders into the party with a little group led by Moon Mage. He's going to cast Spear Walking, which is an air shield effect, AoE. So that's this kind of like glowiness is the air shield. And they go ahead and kill the Float Cat. Then we have a few fights and a couple of events. One of our mages dies from disease. Alright, so first up, Statist attacks Strongdale, kills some PD. Alkera attacks and kills some PD, but we get to see his army, which is kind of like the most interesting part. So we have a bunch of Sacreds, a bunch of these chaffy, very high statted Yowies and Bunyips. Then we have a pack of these Dustwalkers, which are going to do very well in our Dominion, because we have a Heat Dominion, so their stats will go through the roof. The Mimis are kind of trashed here. I mean, they have okay attack, and they have 2 attacks. But ideally, TNM puts up Storm, and they get a -5 during storms. So then we have a Mage Ball here. So checking out the Mage Ball. Got Moon Mage, some Dreamwalkers. Do you have a few gemmed casters? I'm sure we'll get to see what they do with their gems at some point. Not against 1 PD. In the Dawnland, Chaco goes after Zion. So we have this Muyingwa Thug? Is that a penguin head? Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a cool, if it's a mask, it's a cool little mask. He's a size 3, 36 hit point monster with 21 defense, 23 protection, sort of swiftness, so he can attack twice per turn, has a gore, and is flying, has a ring of ensnaring flames for fire resist. And yeah, so let's go ahead and see him in action. I don't like the fireballs because he's just fatiguing himself out. And I think he can kill all of this regardless. But at least both of the fireballs hit. Kills one commander. Then jumps into the troops. And takes care of business. But then Satis goes ahead and wanders into the Dawnland, bringing a bunch of undead. Notably, these warrior undead who have the Trident and Bite attack. And they can definitely be hard to thug with size 3 thugs. Just because they do so much... They output so many attacks and so much damage, it can be hard to kind of get stats where you need them to be to prevent them from breaking you down. So I'm assuming this guy had like 2 slots set to cast. So he's much lower fatigue this time. But he's getting harassed down to 0. And so the 20 damage tridents, even with the invulnerability, again, where he goes up to 29 protection, like they'll... When you're getting hit by, let's say, like 5 attacks per tile, because there's different kinds of long dead, there's a high likelihood, probably, especially over 7 squares, out of those 21 long dead and those probably like 35 attacks, that you're gonna take a few punches every round over 29 protection. So I think it'd be hard to protection thug these guys without maybe another layer of defense. And he's got the fire shield, but maybe you just need a little bit more even than that. He does take a ridiculous hit, though, from a long dead, which is 15 points, where it's a plus 34 that the long dead rolled, and that's just unlucky. So, and, you know, in all fairness to Chaka, he didn't know he was going to probably be fighting a big stack of undead. So this was perfect for killing PD, but ended up fighting a big stack of undead and still killed 76 of them. So well done. In Pergamy, we've got Abysia. So my little Abyssian is taking on a bird, and the bird's just going to run. I remember this. So it's set to retreat. So the Zion bird leaves. And then in Sulfuria, Memoria takes on Tianchi. So we have 2 guys. We they're thugged out. They're both twice born, though. They've got light kits. And they're going up against this TNG force. So we've got Mist Form. Alright, Mist Form. Blessing Flight. Okay, now Mist Form. Flight. And in they go. Yoinks the Adventurer. Which, that's one of my favorite adventurers, the healing one. The other guy jumps into the midst of the cubes and the terracotta generals. Now, he doesn't have the greatest protection or defense, so he's mostly relying on 10% regen. But, I don't know, it's a decent number of attacks coming in. He should be dodging some of them, but also the terracotta guy, he probably took some lance charges. Now he's getting harassed down, so now they're hitting every time against 17 protection. And a lot of the time they're going to be able to punch through that, especially the terracotta guys. So yeah, Sitis manages to survive this. Or not Sitis, Tianchi. But they were both twice-born, so Fomoriya is going to get him back. So mostly just lost the gear. And did manage to kill an adventurer, Master of the Way, and 2 of the terracotta generals. So in a way, these 2 Fomorians managed to kill many future terracotta troops for Tianchi. So I appreciate it. And then, let's see. Yeah, I think we looked at that. And we have a TNN thug taking on a troll event. So this guy's pretty cool. He's got the soul trap. We've got, let's see, some fire, earth, and fire mages. And 1 warrior. So he got a pretty good roll for fighting trolls who have a fire vulnerability if they can hit. Set a lot of them on fire. And now they rout. So TNN takes care of those trolls. Alright, so what are we doing this turn? Well, first we're concerned about the huge Alkera army that's about to move onto the Throne of Fire. It's pretty obvious where it's going. We're concerned about the Chaco Dragon. We're going to go ahead and this force might move south or it might move north. If it goes south, we'll cut it off by taking this province. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Just try and help out TNN regarding this fort while he's busy trying to fight Alkera. And then, let's see. We're still trying to build this palace. Oh, we've started building a palisades here, I guess. Now that we have the dome up. And part of our consolidation effort to try and secure these Dryad Mothers from this site. We're also site searching Holy. Additionally, we're moving up some reinforcements, so we have another squad moving up and another squad moving up here. So trying to secure some retreat routes. Additionally, to further help out, I think we're doing Send Lesser Horror at 224, which is this one. And then this guy's going to walk into it and try to take it. So the hope is we can go ahead and secure 3 out of the 5 retreat routes. Additionally, let's see, we're doing some infernal diseases, or just one, maybe, this turn. So it's at 232. So we're trying to kill the Moon Mage that was here. So that's who we're trying to kill. And otherwise, just continuing to site search, try to find some more game-changing sites. We're casting Infernal Horde. Yeah, so we haven't cast this before. So this is a new DE spell. And what it lets you do is it scales based on your blood level. So in our case, we're going to get 13 Spine Devils for 30 Blood Slaves, which is about 2 per, which I think is really good for the unit. The only downside to the unit is it's not fire resistant, so it can be tricky using them in an Abyssian army, but the value is just so good. So we're gonna cast this and get ourselves some Spine Devils, and maybe the coral part of it will knock off some Twist Fate. Not exactly sure how that interaction works. Also getting a Shadow Imp, and we're also going to try out a Sanguine Horror, which is kind of like a mix between like a Water Elemental and a Gore-Tide Horror. So it's worse than a Gore-Tide, maybe in terms of power about on par with a Water Elemental, but it's a Blood Summon. And this guy is going to cast Become Dragon. Now, I didn't realize that DE had changed Become Dragon, so now it gives you +1 to fire and -1 to all other paths. So we're going to lose the Earth path. So that was one of the things I was hoping maybe I could use that for maybe some light thugging. But we do get to keep one of the holy paths. So we're going to have a Fire 4 dragon that can take our Bless, and that is going to be kind of cool. So we'll try and figure out some different ways to use him. But that's what we're doing with this guy. And I didn't know that at the time that they had nerfed that, but it's in the description. So it's fine. It's on me for not reading it. And I think that's most of it. So yeah, the primary objective is we want to find some more game-changing sites, if any exist in our lands. And we want to fortify this throne. And hopefully it'll provide a nice base of operations for maybe making a move on this Helheim fort. So we'll see what happens. And then additionally, this army is going to continue trying to protect this TNN throne. In terms of the world, I've been hearing that Oceania and Hinnom and Juhara, that team has been getting hit pretty hard. We've been able to see some good progress from Femoria though. And we've been seeing Chaco fighting against Zion, but Zion's still got a lot of stuff. So we'll see if Chaco can close him out. And yeah, I think that's most of it. So I'll go ahead and see you in the next turn, in turn 54. Have a good one.